Little housekeeper, awesome Jeff.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. What's up, guys? Hope everyone's having a blessed day. It's Wednesday. I'm sure for a lot of people, it's been a hectic week. I know for me, I'm exhausted still from last week. What'd you say?
Said, or it's Thursday, depending on when you're listening.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know for me, I'm still recuperating from my wild week last week. So it's just been a lot, man, and trying to get ready for a big tournament this weekend. So,
dude, tell me about it. Dude, your show last week with Angel, dude, here's what's so wild. So I was like, dude, there's no way I'm not going to be able to do it. I'm going to be on vacation, which I was.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, I stepped aside. My kids, we just were at the beach all the time. Right. We had such a blast, which I'll talk about that in a little bit. But it was just like, man, they were just so dead. But like at the same time, like my wife was trying to make sure that she could like put them down, and I was trying to put them down. So I was actually like on the show, like commenting as I'm like trying to like put the kids down. I couldn't stay away. You guys had a good show.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. I was worried if the internet was going to work or not, and it was good. So yeah, I was as people know, I was at a martial arts retreat. So it started from
that's what you were saying.
Wednesday all the way until Sunday. So it was a little long. It was the first one that my instructor put on. I know his next one he's saying will probably be 2 days, maybe 2.5 days. But it was really cool. You know, so many great people to learn from. They had like a self-defense track doing knife fighting and defense lab and gun. They have a group called Raid that teaches people how to be certified in teaching, to shoot guns and different things. So it's a cool thing to add for your class.
In teaching people how to shoot guns?
Yeah. So you can get yours concealed, everything, and just being a solid. There's a lot of different things. I can't explain all of it, but it's a cool thing to look into. So there was that on that side, and then there was the sport karate side, where it was myself, Eddie Thomas, who is John Valera's instructor, and him and I were just going back and forth doing awesome kick drills and things. Sean Elliott was there. Gina Thornton came and taught some. Marty Knight, who has fought everyone, and he is a student of Keith Vitelli, and he's also the instructor of, let's see, Nikki Carlson Lee. That's all you really have to say. But
that's it, man.
But then you also look at Brenda Hunn. You have Jelaine Shiflett. All those people are under him. So that was just an awesome seminar. Ron Searles, who hey Gabrielle, Ron Searles, who is a stunt person, but he's also a former NBL world champion from the 90s. He pretty much is Arnold Schwarzenegger and Sly's stunt double now, right? So it was really cool hanging out with those guys. Magic Johnson, Jerome Johnson is his name, but we always call him Magic. He's a great fighter from the 70s, 80s, and arbitrator. And he had a good one on how to make the judges see your points, because a lot of times we think
that is a real thing.
And how do I move to this position to throw this technique in a way that people can see it? So that was really cool. And Marty Knights was titled "How to Beat People That Are Better Than You," and so really cool insight.
That's also a real thing.
Yes.
Those are very good ones.
Yeah,
because
so it's a lot of fun.
I think those are. Man, I'm really interested to hear how those went, because I mean we've all done and seen the come to this seminar, work on speed. This one's going to work on footwork. This one's going to work on movement. This one's on kicking. You know what I mean? We've done a million of those, and I could take a million more, which is fine. Right. But like, the way you described those, like that's fan freaking tastic.
Yeah. So it was really cool because they had like the students doing the judging and having the two fighters and said, all right, just watching them fight. And he would just address, okay, here's some things. For Marty Knights, it was really cool because it was like we'd fight for 20 seconds. We'd switch. And then he'd break it down and say, okay, this is what I'm saying. All right, this is what I'm saying. Okay. Then go up again. And then okay, I see what you guys need. I got a drill that's going to change your fighting. Boom.
Wait a minute.
So
he didn't have a game plan going in?
Oh, he did. But
okay.
I mean,
but he adjusted it on the fly if needed.
Right. But which I think is important for seminars. For me, that's the way I do it as well. I adjust on the fly because if I get there and I'm thinking I'm teaching the people that know, or you think, oh, I have all black belts. Okay. It's not always the same thing. Okay. I'm just going to say I had one kid who was a black belt that, it was hard just to keep his attention. Okay. And it was tough. So you just have to adjust, and again, some people may want something completely different. So that was a lot of fun. That's what I did. I got back. So I lost my voice and trying to prepare for caps this weekend.
Dude, like I was telling you, don't worry about the lost voice. Dude, one of the coolest voices of sport karate. Look, he basically lost his voice when he was like 11. Mike Welch, I don't think has actually had a not lost voice. Doesn't it sound so cool?
It does.
His voice sounds so cool. And
does.
I swear, I mean, I think I probably met the guy in like, I don't know, 95, 96.
Right.
And he's pretty much sounded the exact same.
That's true. I know Gabrielle's had a big week, as we've seen, doing her trial for the WWE, which we hope to have her on soon. That. Yeah, so that's a lot of awesome big news. Before we get into the big news, let's see, what else are we going to say? Well, we're just going to tonight's just going to be fun, some people I'm sure right now are watching the adrenaline tricking that's going on right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk.
Where do you want to go first, man?
First, we got to hit with our sponsor. We got to hit with our sponsor, and that's the Virtual Fight Tour. We got the Bristol Open coming up, USA versus Europe. We're getting down. We just added Enrique Latona to the U.S. team, who has a lot of WACO experience, who has fought those guys. I mean, the last time we saw him fight Elijah, during team fighting. We also added another German. I cannot remember his name right now. If you guys are on the know who was added on, but
I think
right now we have 9 males on each team.
When we keep mentioning, they have experience fighting the WACO style, which is important. Yeah. But I think what we're really ending up with is the fighters that are being picked from the European side do have experience fighting American fighters.
Americans, yeah, that's right.
So they're experienced and they've had a number of rounds fighting American fighters, matters too. Because like I said, listen, we keep talking about the rules, what's going to be like, but the biggest difference between the two continents in the styles in which they fight is the level of contact.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so, which is why I feel like Enrique does so well in Europe, because his level of contact is not all that.
Really? I don't know. I remember when he first came on the scene, he was kicking people really hard with those kicks, man.
Yeah.
And I don't know now. But...
And then, 10 seconds later, he's on his back. I don't know what to tell you.
All right. That doesn't mean his level of contact and what he throws isn't strong. But yeah.
Then you're on your back. And no one hit you. Whatever. No, but he's a fantastic fighter, and I'm actually really excited to see him fight. I'm just
a little disappointed that it seems like there's no females on it. So
that might be, here's the thing though. It's possible that might be coming.
Yeah.
Bristol Open's not till the middle of October.
That's true. That's true.
I'm gonna tell you, hey, as long as we're talking about the Bristol Open, listen, I got a take. Okay. I think the Bristol Open is going to be the best tournament all year.
For point fighting, yeah, definitely.
Yes. I think it will be. Oh, yeah, because it's not going to be that for forms.
Yeah.
Right. I think it will be the absolute best tournament. I think it's coming at a peak, at a time where it's like, all right, everybody's going to be there. All right. All the questions of, all right, what if you fought? Oh, but what if you went? But what if they went over?
Right.
It's all going to be answered.
Right.
It's going to be right there. And now it's starting to feel like, dude, I'm telling you, I got some messages from some people that were like, man, I think I got to get me a ticket to get over to Bristol.
Yeah.
No joke.
Yeah.
Right. And we were talking about it, and then we were talking about how this is going to be the tournament of the year. I think this is the Bristol Open's opportunity right now. They have the best opportunity to be the number 2 tournament in Europe.
Yeah.
Right now.
Definitely.
It's not like they were a bad tournament. They're not. They're a very good tournament. And they were already considered a very, very good tournament. But Point Fighter Cup and the Austrian Classic were kind of always like right there. I think the Austrian Classic was kind of like the number 2 tournament, and the Point Fighter Cup.
Yeah.
It just had something extremely unique, right? In the way that they had
and even like the tournament in Belgium and all those, they were all actually bigger than Bristol for a long
Flanders,
time. You know, Bristol just slowly kind of took it up. They've always had 1 or 2 rare teams from America or Canada that would come out there, you know, and a lot of times they would be WKC following type teams, you know, so that was really kind of interesting.
And I'm not trying to toot, you know, the America's horn, but I mean, that's what's really going to make your event. And I'm not meaning that like, oh, if you don't have the Americans or the Canadians there, you don't have a good event, because that's not true.
Right.
I think what that does is it brings a level of, all right, we got to step our game up. You know what I mean? To the rest of Europe or whatever, you know, area of that continent that they're in. Right. So when we go back to like, I think it was like 2002 when the first, I think it was Victory that won the Irish Open.
Yeah.
And they won it. All of a sudden it was like, all right, who the heck are these guys?
Right.
Right. And I think 2006, that was the turning point.
Yeah.
I looked at the 2006 Irish Open like the 1992 Dream Team, right? In the sense that there was more people from the States that went over there than to that tournament, that single tournament, than ever before. And from that moment, the people from the States started to look at and actually start to respect a little bit from a couple of years later, like, all right, these guys aren't stepping stones. They actually have some legit skill, right?
But also their sport grew after that as well.
That's exactly where I was going next.
Like that's, I mean, and that's what's crazy about it, you know, like you see people that were doing all these seminars and now they're the ones that are actually doing those seminars, you know? So
you said it. If you look back to like, I compared it to the 92 Dream Team. Look at the 92 Dream Team. Like, it didn't matter. You could take, that's why before that point, you had college teams going to the Olympics and winning the gold. Because like you didn't have to put your 3rd, 4th, or 5th best team out there. It didn't matter. But once you put the best one out there, all of a sudden it was like the who's, the mob of mobs, celebrity of celebrities, everybody's game stepped up. And that's why I feel like Bristol Open has an opportunity right now. Everybody's going to be there. This could be your opportunity. Like, all right, we're going to be that. Because I think once the Irish Open comes back, they're going to be cemented. They're still number 1.
Oh, yeah. Of course.
Yeah, there's nothing changing that. Right? There's nothing. They would have to have a couple, maybe like a few bad tournaments consecutively.
Yeah.
Where people are like, why are we still going? And don't nobody see that happening.
Correct.
Right? So, I mean, they're cemented as number 1. But Bristol Open, I think, is going to be a fantastic.
One more different thing that I'm kind of surprised is like, okay, there's Chris Ashton, there's Elijah, but I still kind of thought there would be more British, you know, kind of people on the team. Because you have guys like Prince and Cook that whooped everyone's butt at Waco Worlds. You know what I mean? And those, you know, those guys are good. But I like, though, at the same time that they made it more Europe, not just UK. So yeah.
And obviously, we don't know what Jesse has already worked out, or
Right.
what's yet to come, or if anything's yet to come,
Right.
as far
Right.
as news or announcements. But if this is all there is so far that's coming, which is a lot so far, right? I mean, he did it kind of the right way. The way name drop this, name drop that. I mean, really,
Yeah, I thought
who's
it was
left?
great.
Who do you think is left?
I don't know. Maybe
When
someone.
we talked about the women, right? Like,
Yeah.
all right.
That's who I think should be left, but I don't know. At least one woman's fight. Jeez. But
Evelyn
again,
will
my
be
favorite
there.
part of Bristol Open is always watching the tag team sparring event. So that's going to be awesome, seeing all this talent there doing that.
All right. So you mentioned that. Who would you like to see team up?
All right. So, I'm trying to think because I don't know who else is going. But I mean, I think Brandon and Bailey would be great. And if that doesn't happen, they choose not to. It'll probably be Tyreek and Bailey.
That's where I thought you were going to go.
They'll probably do it. And who else is going there? I mean, I just pick one between Tyreek, James Poor. Tyson, James Poor, and
Darren Payne.
Darren Payne. I mean, geez.
Yeah. I mean, all of them.
I'm sorry. James Poor would be great in that division, right? All right.
Oh, amazing. He'd be
Amazing.
He'd be fantastic in that
He'd be
division.
great setting people up for his teammate. He'd be great for jumping in there and getting the point. And then you have a killer like Darren that would be like, if he would set him up around the line like James Poor would, tag in, and then imagine that side getting hit with that side kick, not being seen, like blind from Darren. That would be nuts.
You know who I think I mean, we look at like the names to drop, and I think people kind of like whisper to themselves, like, you think Cam's gonna go?
Yeah.
You think Avery's gonna go?
Right. I don't
Remember,
think
no inside knowledge.
Avery's
No
gonna
inside
go.
knowledge.
No, I don't think he's going to go. It's too close to WKC and back and forth. I feel like that. Cam, though, Devin's going. So I'd like to see that.
I think if Cam was going to do a Waco event, this one might be it. Because then I don't know. But I do think the name that is probably going to get called is Jack Felton.
Yeah.
I mean, the other teammates are there.
And see, just that alone.
What?
Jack and Elijah doing tag team, right? I mean, it's all-star. They don't have to go with, so, or even Kevin and Jack, or Kevin,
Kevin would be Kevin's a fantastic Swiss Army knife, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I think because I had him on my fantasy team, and I had him as a heavyweight because earlier in the year he fought as heavyweight.
Right.
And then here he goes and he wins the overall, but as a lightweight. And I got
right.
My fantasy sport karate team stinks, by the way.
And I gotta remember to get my team set up right now because I forgot we have a tournament this weekend, so I gotta add myself back to my team.
Oh yeah. So
when I don't go, I usually replace myself with Kevin. So usually we go to opposite tournaments. It's kind of funny.
That is interesting.
So don't pick me up before. All right, I'm gonna do that tonight.
I'm gonna go do right now.
No. I already said I'm picking myself back up. All right.
Like Jeff Doss hits the waiver wire and everybody goes nuts. Like they're picking up fantasy football on a Tuesday at 3:30 in the morning.
All right, let's talk about this. Right now, we have the Adrenaline Worldwide happening right now. The big thing on all over, and if you don't know, Adrenaline is pretty much like trying to be the NBA of tricking and take it to the next level. They have pay-per-view events. I think they're doing the pay-per-view right now. They did a 3-day event in Vegas, okay, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The big thing Adrenaline's been doing now is stunts. So I teach the Adrenaline stunt program at my school. It's an awesome program. Lots of fun. Great way to get your students and just even outside people into your school because stunts is cool. You're giving them something for them to feel like they can maybe pursue as a career, right? And they, after a certain while, maybe after they've done this for a year or two, they can start trying out for roles through the program. So
Yeah.
they have a great thing set up. They have at this event, they have wires. They had different sets set up so you can make fight scenes with the actual. It was really cool. They had like a bar set or whatever, and then they had like an old timey restaurant set, and then you shoot your fight in there as part of going to this conference. So it's a big deal that they're doing this for martial arts schools, right? But like you and I talked before this, tricking, well, I don't think those guys are on board with that, right? With understanding the whole idea of Century being a
They
sponsor
got a weird
for
culture, man.
karate schools, you know what I mean? And Black Belt Magazine and that type of thing, And here's the deal. You have all of these kids and teenagers there. And the problem is, even people I respect, some had some trash talking, but it wasn't bad. But it was at the end of the press conference, I guess it was last night, there were some gestures towards the private area. There were some F-bombs, and it's just like, guys, this isn't a good look. This isn't where we need to go, And unfortunately, though, it's like when people say that and they're all surprised, I'm like, it's the tricking world, you know what I mean? Like, this is where a lot of times that they've wanted to keep themselves in that where they can't be controlled. The way it was set up, their press conference was set up like UFC. They wanted them to kind of smack talk and everything like that, right? But I feel like it kind of went into a whole nother level.
You can smack talk, but they're
And
forgetting.
honestly, Alex, the whole thing was very good until just the one,
I know.
two people kind of went at it. So,
And I think what they're looking at, what Adrenaline is looking at, is what is their audience now, rather in a very short period of time, what could their audience be?
Yeah.
Without changing
Right.
anything, right?
But again, they've done this for 2 years now, or actually less than 2 years for the stunt thing, which is all for karate schools. Get
Yep.
your students to want to learn how to do superhero stunts. That's what it is. It's the superhero. Do you teach the superhero stuff? Yeah, you teach superhero stuff. Okay. So you're going to get all these kids there to learn this stuff, right?
So that's your market. That's who's there.
Yep, exactly.
Did you ever watch the Dude Perfect guys?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
Well,
They started
my kids
out.
do, yeah.
Yeah. There you go. You said it, right? Bunch of guys. They're like our age.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's all they do is they started out with trick shots, and then they did this spoof thing and this spoof thing, and then just do a bunch of weird stuff like how you can do trick shots forever. Yeah, because what they have is now they've carved out this niche where they can do this stuff, and they're fun loving, they're family oriented. You could put kids in front of them a bunch of times. I had a customer of mine, and I said, I had to go to their house. I had to walk through, part of their project, and they're like, "Oh, we got to go pretty soon because we have to get down to United Center." I said, "Oh, you guys going to a show?" And they go, "Yeah, we're going to see Dude Perfect." I said, "Really?" And they go, "Yeah, they sold out, so we got a second show, and we're still up." And United Center is massive, right? So I'm like, "What?"
Yeah.
And these guys, that's what they do. They focus on how marketable they are, right? They've got their own, apparel. They've got their own merchandise, all sorts of stuff.
Everything. Yep.
Adrenaline could be that plus some because they're YouTubeable. You don't have to be in. So many guys are into tricking that never did martial arts, right?
Right.
You probably did this too, Jeff, where you went, and every guy in the early 2000s went to gymnastic schools to goof around and learn how to trick because it was fun. You didn't want to break yourself in half, right?
Yeah.
And so there was guys there who were doing that, like tricking.
Right.
They didn't never take karate. They'd never taken a martial arts class ever.
And that's
they're
the
over
thing
there
now.
tricking better than me.
The culture has changed. It's not they were martial artists and they turned to trickers or they learned how to trick. They just start as trickers.
They skipped it. They were like,
yeah, the only, that's why like Michael Guthrie is still the best in the world because he started as a martial artist. That's my opinion. You
Well, yes.
you have this young kid though, Shosei, and all these other guys from Japan who are just learning it and just doing it. Now they're awesome, but they're missing a level of what what Mike has.
Right. Yeah. And I did watch some of what he had. So I was showing my son this. It was so funny. I'm gonna tell you this.
Okay.
My daughter was like, we were talking about this daddy-daughter dance that she was gonna go to, and she was gonna put on makeup, and this is what kids do, right? They just want to be like your sister. And he's like, I want to do that. And I'm like, come here. Come here. And he's like, what? And then I didn't even want to be like, you're not. No, you're not. I was just like, come here. Check this out. All right. And he put on some tricking. And it was like an adrenaline trick battle. And there was Michael Guthrie there. And he's like, whoa, daddy, did you see what he did? Did you see you in the air, daddy? Did you see that? I'm like,
that's awesome.
That's what I'm talking about right there. But that's it though. But look at what I just did. I took my 3-year-old son and I'm showing him this. That's what they've got to figure this out, man.
Yep.
Like you can't do the DX thing like that. Right.
Well, it is worse than that, but
I know, man.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the thing is like I think the Kane family, McGuire and Jimmy, those guys and his dad, they're doing a great job, at it. I just think they gotta, real some, there needs to be a talk, or if there's signed. I know Trigger's gonna hate this, but fines, you know what I mean? I feel like there has to be. If you're a real sport, you're gonna get fined. If that was the UFC and there were some issues going on, there's gonna be some fines. So there, so but it looks like their event was huge. Lots of sport karate guys out there. Even our friend Kaylin Kowalski is out there, which was wild. So, cool.
I saw that she was there. I didn't see it. I saw that she was there.
Yeah. So hope everyone's having fun right now doing that. I think the battles are going to be great. They have Mason Bumba is competing. Haley Glass is competing. Philip Brume versus Alex Macias in comma battle. That's going to be awesome. Lots of cool stuff. So
that's cool, man. They got a lot of good things going. I gotta be honest. Before they were a big thing like this, when there was just the martial arts team Adrenaline, right?
Oh, well, that was more of really what that was. They started as a camp.
I know. And McGuire Kane was there, and I remember thinking, I was like, man, this McGuire Kane kid, he could be like really good.
Yeah.
And then he just went, I'm gonna do this thing instead.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, like, one year, I was like, man, that kid was awesome. Where'd that kid go? Oh, never mind. He found a completely different avenue where he could continue doing this and being involved in this without damaging his body.
Correct. Yeah.
Because cool. There's a reason why Trickers, like, Michael Guthrie is a unicorn. Right? Yeah. He's a unicorn.
Yeah.
There's no Trickers at that level north of 30. It just does not happen.
Correct. That are at that high level. Yeah, exactly. Because, I mean, you look at someone, I think Velu is younger than him or the same age, and he's retired. He's like, no, I'm just judging. It's like, all right. Yeah.
And like, a lot of these guys were like 24. Oh, man.
Oh, I know.
You're definitely retired.
Yeah. All right. So big news, the big news of the day. Man, this is awesome. Raymond joins Karate Combat. What did you think when you saw that?
I'm glad that he first I was like, finally he joined. He's in something, because I'm like,
it's been 2 years and your time's running out, right?
TikTok. I mean, he's 42 now.
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And he's got he's smart in the sense that he's like, all right, I have a finite amount of time to capitalize on the skills God gave me, all right? And the body God gave me. Let's utilize this the best that I can. This is the chosen avenue that I've decided to go down.
And Alex, they just came off a good show too. A first time when they had a show that was live and it went well, and there was a lot of good reviews about it. People enjoyed it, and you also just have 2 other sport karate guys that are there, and then they just signed another one with Dean Barry.
Yep.
And I think it's great. for me, knowing a little bit and thinking that PKA would be trying to sign them, if they wanted to launch something and make this strike league a big deal, they needed Raymond. And for me, I thought, okay, well, that's a good way for him to end his career in something that he's comfortable with, above the waist kickboxing, doing that. This is very similar. It's just calf kicks instead of thigh. But I think it has the publicity right now. It's the hot thing right now,
I think this is going to be so much easier for him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think,
like you said, the gloves are smaller. Just ways there isn't limits to his style in this, like there was in kickboxing or even MMA. So yeah, so I'm excited about it, man. Now,
I mean,
what do you think? Weight class? What, welterweight? I guess.
he's been fighting welter.
Yeah.
So I'm assuming it's going to be welter.
Yeah. So that's what the weight class under Ross. They got to stay separate. There's no point for them to ever fight unless they push it to this big thing. But I know, speaking to Ross in the past and Raymond, they said, we don't want to go against our own. You know what I mean? Like, we want to go against other people.
The only time I felt like, all right, this could be exciting if Ray fights somebody that's like the same
was MVP.
Is if he would have fought MVP.
Right. And now MVP is about to fight in bare knuckle fighting.
That one has me like, I don't get that.
Bare knuckle is the other one that is making big moves. They signed another ex-MMA guy or ex-kickboxing guy. Now they're signing kickboxers like Buakaw and who's the other guy?
Senchai.
Yeah, Senchai. I didn't know how to say his name. You also have,
I might be saying it wrong,
MVP. You have, they have Paige Van Zandt. They have lots of different names. And
I'm really curious as to like bare knuckle. Really, I'm curious. Like, all right, what are the contracts like? What are the stipulations? I always want to know, like, what does this mean behind the scenes? Like, all right, cameras see this. What am I really required to do? What are the expectations?
Yeah.
What goes with this?
Well, from what everyone says is they actually get hurt less in this. It's just cuts. And a lot of times it's not really bad cuts because a lot of times there's less brain trauma from what everyone's saying. But I don't know. They have their wrists, wrapped up and everything, and then that's it. So it's interesting. So a lot of other leagues are making moves. We have the BKA, we have Karate Combat, we have bare knuckle. Those are all avenues for our sport. Karate Combat, though, right now is everyone's excited about it. What weight class is Dean going to be in? He may be in Raymond's.
Probably will be.
Yeah. So that's going to be interesting. Who do you? Man.
Did you wait? Were you about to ask me?
No, I'm not even. Stop. No, that's not where I was going with that. I was thinking like, who would be his first fight? Like, what type of, how are they going to market his first fight? It's going to be
tell you right away.
Next month. It's going to be next month.
They might. You know what? This is why Ray's so good. They could put in this format. I could see them going, all right, Ray, you're going to go light heavy. Remember when they did the WCL?
Yeah.
He fought in light heavy.
Yeah.
Right? And he really has kind of not ever been that, right?
You're right.
But he's kind of always been about a middleweight, right?
Yeah.
And then he would cut to the welters for when he did full contact.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So even when he point fought, like he was kind of always still a middleweight, but it was like, what are you gonna do? It's like, Raymond, you're not supposed to be here. Free Raymond down. Do whatever you want. Right. So when he did World Combat League, think about like his big highlight fights were you get the big guys who come in there like this.
Yep.
And then he would knock them out with a turn side kick to the body.
Yeah, amazing.
Right.
Yeah.
I you know what? I don't think people really understand how impressive the move is, right? So it is, we all can do it. We've all done it. When we break it down, yeah, it's you're not jumping through the roof. You're not spinning a whole bunch. But the way he does it, listen, I've been hit by the thing.
Right.
I've been hit by the thing a few times. It's for real. It is for real. Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, here's the thing. First time I fought him, I'm like, I think I heard of this guy. This guy from Cali. Oh yeah, this Raymond. I thought his name was McDaniels. Oh yeah, this Raymond McDaniels guy. Yeah, I heard of this guy. Right? I'm not kidding you. Right? And then he did the best of luck to you, sir. And I was like, oh, guy's cool. And I come out there, my leg, chambered at my eyeballs, and I come flying, and he jump spins, and I remember catching with my hand. I caught his heel.
Yeah.
Right here, right by my temple. He got 2 points. I was like, I don't care about those 2 points. My life almost ended.
Yeah.
And it was for real, right?
Yeah.
And that was in 99. Add the strength, the power, the knowledge, everything.
Everything. Yeah. Yeah.
Look at where we are now, right? Being 19 versus 42.
Right.
Right. So I just, when I say I don't think people understand how impressive the move is. Outside of Bailey Murphy landing that 360 kick last year at the Diamonds.
Yeah.
When have we seen another spin kick of any kind?
The Webster would be another one. Yeah.
But I mean, recent, like this year.
Oh yeah. No, I know what you mean.
I'm like, yeah, people land spin kicks like all the time.
Yeah.
But like, really, I think we think that.
Yeah.
And that means two things. One, right? I actually think the level of sport karate fighters, and I'm going to go back to sport karate. I'll come back. Right.
Yeah.
I think the level of sport karate fighters has just gotten better. People don't get hit by moves like that anymore, right? Because they're smarter, right? But because it's not landing all the time, because people are smart enough to they're not going to put themselves in a bad position. People aren't throwing it enough. You don't understand how hard that move is to throw. You have to train that move so much more than any other move because that's what it requires. It requires that much training because it is more difficult move. What move do you think you got to train more? A jump spin kick or front leg side kick? You have to train a jump spin kick. Yeah. If you want them both at an elite level, one requires more training.
Right.
It's that dang hard.
Yeah, it is. You know what? Talking about this. So again, I go back to this week and I love just being around. I'm not going to call them, veterans. We'll call them veterans, right? With this knowledge that fought in the 70s and 80s.
Oh,
and really, when we talk about the best ever, we most of the time we mention two people. One's Raymond and the other's Nasty Anderson, right?
Okay, yeah.
And I loved hearing the records that Nasty had and the legend that, it was, and did you know that Nasty Anderson had the record for fighting the most people in one day? He fought for 14 hours straight. He fought rounds. That is apparently he has a record, okay? The other one is we all heard that he was undefeated for a year and a half. But actually what it was is that he didn't get scored on for a year and a half. Okay? So I can understand that. All right. He was that good. Now, this is where it took a whole another turn. They weren't just talking about tournaments. They were talking about in training too. And I was like, well, how do you know that? How do you track that? So this is where
I train with some guys that take it that seriously though. Right?
Oh, dude, he's the man.
Like, you will not touch me.
And so that was interesting. Eddie Thomas, Nasty actually lived with him for a year or two, lived around there. So they were really close, and he taught him a lot. Marty Knight had fought him plenty of times. He talked about a great story about Ray McCullum and Keith Vitelli. Keith Vitelli was number one. Ray was number two. They were doing a tournament in Texas. Actually, maybe it wasn't Texas, but the center was from Texas. And it came down to Ray McCullum ended up winning the fight.
So the center was Chuck Norris.
Yeah. So, Marty Knight was training with him. And he said he was just on a whole nother. All he thought about was beating Ray, and just fighting hours and hours and hours. He went to the next tournament, and again, then it was first to three. He beat Ray first to three in like 30 seconds. Boom, 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 just clean, so focused. And Ray McCullum Perry said, "You know what? Making most points, you weren't going to do that." And he just got in his face. I'll beat you all day. Like, that's just the confidence that Keith Vitelli had to beat him. He's like, "I'm the number one fighter. I'm going to beat you all day." And that was just an awesome. And Marty Knight was like that. I was like ready to go, ready to fight with him because, Keith Vitelli was just, when we see him, he's like this professional guy, this nice guy. I was always smiling. Every picture, smiling. But dude, he was a badass.
Yeah, when you see him, it's like, oh, look, it's Uncle Keith.
Yeah.
Yeah, look at that guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're a black belt. Yeah. No,
right.
He's a badass.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. So it was cool hearing those stories. Lots of good old stories, just about that from those guys. Because they all fought in that era, But what's cool is that, like, Marty Knight still fights at every NASCAR tournament. He's in his 60s, and he's fought the best. He's trained with the best. He's taught the best. So just a huge legend in our sport.
Yeah.
So it was cool to do that. One of the funniest things, though, too, this whole week, I saw everyone had a different name for this one drill that everyone did. It was a kicking drill, and everyone kind of had a similar version, maybe a little different, okay? And it's where you hold your partner's hand, and you just do your kick to their belly, and then you double, and then you double up, or you go to their head and it goes high, right?
Like slow, or like
whatever. I mean,
slow, you're doing fast. Okay.
Yeah, just
I know
whatever.
the exact deal you're talking about. You lock hands.
Just like locking hands and going, right? So
yeah.
Eddie Thomas said he learned that from Bill Wallace. My friend Jim Perlini, who's in Rhode Island, he says he calls them Mullins drills for Skipper Mullins.
Oh.
Let's see who's
that
the
would
other
make
one.
sense.
Oh,
okay.
Marty Knight calls them Vitelli drills. So it's just it was just great. You know what I mean?
It's cool that they put a name to it, though.
Yeah.
Because like when I think about it, like if I have to dial it back, like when did I first do that? I think I did learn that from Bill Wallace.
Right.
But I don't ever remember calling him Bill Wallace drill.
No. But I mean, hey,
but that's really cool.
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, lots of cool history and things. All right, let's get into, and again, big news all around. Been a good way for us to tell. Let's get into the fun thing that you wanted to do, the new topic.
Wait, do you want to talk about a certain someone in wrestling? Or do you want to wait on that?
Well, we're going to wait on that. But again, guys, Gabrielle Dunn, she went to Nashville to do a tryout. She's posted lots of cool videos. WWE posted a video, and it featured her many times in it. So she's super excited, had a great experience. And hopefully we'll find out soon if she made it or not. So
that's why we were waiting. All right, yeah. So that's
we hope she does. Keep your prayers, keep her in your prayers, because that's just a cool thing, man. And if not, you know what? She made it. She had a great experience, and again, it was just a wild thing. So just hearing how it happened from her is interesting. So we hope to have her on the show.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to hear this.
Not just tell about that, but we wanted her. We've been wanting to have her on the show.
We've been wanting to have her on for a while.
Yeah. So pretty cool.
She went ahead and messed up, got married, and
got
complicated plans.
Yeah,
just
moves,
love you
all
both.
kinds of stuff. All right, you ready for this one? I'm interested. You've been telling me.
I love this. So I was sitting around. I'm on vacation. I'm just sitting there, and I'm talking to this person, talking to that person later, and we're at the beach, and this other dad just sitting around. He's like, "Oh, would you rather this? Would you rather that?" And I'm like, "You guys are freaking weirdos, right?" So I'm thinking in my head, but I'll say that, right? Although sometimes I just would. And I'm like, I wonder if there's like a sport karate, would you rather? So I started thinking, and then I started thinking of like, hey, these are like really like, would you rather have this or would you rather have that? And then I started putting my own twist on some things. So Jeff has never heard this, but I can't wait to put this up here. I thought this is probably like the number one. Like, would you rather this or that?
Yeah.
Would you rather? I'm talking to Jeff Doss. Win the diamonds for the men's form overall in like 2005.
Oh, geez, we're putting year. Okay.
Because it's different than right now.
Okay.
Because then you beat
everybody. Yeah, true.
And at that time, of how deep it was.
Yeah, because there was but the thing is, think about some of the people that won those years. It was kind of random. Not random, but it was just deep, you know.
It was super deep. You had everybody. We're talking Steve Torada. We're talking Cal Menchoka, Matt Emig even.
Yeah, right? Matt Emig. Yeah.
Marcel Jones, Canonizato, even John Sue.
Josh Kahn, all those guys, man.
You said it.
Yeah.
Deep.
Will Cornell. Yeah.
Yeah. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Or would you rather win the Irish Open now?
This is a hard one for me because for me it's always like diamonds, and that's still my goal is to win the diamonds. Doesn't really.
I know.
And not first place, like to win the diamond ring. Like that's it. So, but I think that if you win the Irish Open, and not in a blizzard year, and no offense, nothing. Even if you did in that year, it was hard competition, right?
It was Roman Brundle who won the blizzard year, so it's not like you won. You were Roman freaking Brundle.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So I'd still have to say the Irish Open.
Wow.
But see, it's hard for me to say that. I'm just thinking of quality, competition, and how much you had to go through to win. When you win, especially back then, you won your division and then you go straight to grands back then. So it's really you only did 2 forms. If it was like you had to do a runoff and this and that, okay, because that was kind of wild. But like for you to win the Irish Open, you have and the open weight, you had to win at least 10 fights. You know.
I remember I had like 20, and I didn't even make the semifinal in my group. In my group.
Yeah. It's still the numbers in the divisions weren't that huge in the 2005. Well, I mean, they were big. I'm trying to remember.
Oh, they were big.
They were big. I went the year before in 2004 because I had 20 in each of my divisions, but they weren't super huge.
Put it like that. I'm kind of was thinking between like 2000, like.
Because at the U.S. Open 2009, I had 30 or 31 in my creative division. I went first.
Well, let me put it this way. Let me spin it. What's the biggest, best? I'm assuming you're going to say diamonds. I put it that way because I know you hadn't won it yet, and I know you want to. What would be the peak for you?
Yeah, that would be diamonds. I put diamonds above U.S. Open ISK. Now I've won ISK, but it was different. You know, now if I won ISK now, I think it'd be different than winning it back then. You know, because I won it in the second year that was on ESPN.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot different now.
So was that like the year? Like what year do you think would be like the peak?
Oh, you mean for me?
That's what I'm wondering.
Oh, like my best? I don't know, man.
But your best, or what would be the peak of like this was where
that
it was
era?
at its best? Because maybe I'm putting 2005 out there, but really maybe
2005 is great. 2009, I'd have to say, is because on both circuits, it was 2009, 2011 to me was
got a very good point.
Really, and on both, because again, in the NBL at that time, it was me, Josh Durbin, and Daryl Lewis that were going head to head on everything, right?
Yeah.
And all three of us could compete on NBL. I mean, on NASCA as well. And then you had on NASCA, you had, Matt Emming, Mark, Micah Carnes was up there now. You know, you had all these guys that were putting it in there, putting work in. In 2009, Marcel was still competing.
He was.
Rudy was still competing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, there was just a lot. You know, some people were still showing up to events. like Sammy Vasquez were still showing up every now and then competing. I mean, it
I
was
think
just
2009 might have been the best year because I was trying to think. I think what I was trying to do was keep Steve Terada in it, but I forgot about Rudy.
right.
So
Yeah, I
maybe
mean,
you're right.
I love Steve, but I think that because Khan was still competing then, Josh Khan, Josh Durbin, all these guys, man. So because that's who I had to be to win my first NBL title was Josh Durbin. You know, we're talking about the double backflip guy. You know, I mean, just all that from that. You know, but and to me, Josh Durbin's one of the cleanest martial artists. Because what's funny is that when he was younger, he wasn't known as that, and then he just became super clean with his hands. So I always have a lot of respect for Josh Durbin. He's a super nice guy too. All right, give me another one.
All right. That's the real one.
Yeah.
How come the funny ones?
All right.
You've been to karate tournaments, so you know kind of how this goes. Would you
Mhm.
rather wear a karate tournament all weekend at a tournament, but you could always have a fresh one? Like you could never you had to be wearing karate tournament everywhere you went.
Karate what? Say it again.
A karate uniform.
Oh, all right. A gi.
You have to wear a uniform everywhere you go out to dinner. You got to wear a uniform. You
Right.
sleep in your uniform.
Okay.
You go to breakfast everywhere you walk around. You go to the airport. You're in your uniform.
Okay.
The entire time. Or you can wear whatever you want, but you have to be barefoot all weekend at the tournament.
Oh, geez. That's hard.
You go outside, you can put shoes on, but you got to be barefoot all weekend at the tournament, and you can't wash your feet. You got to either wear the uniform.
So when I wear the gi, I can wear shoes, right? When I wear the gi?
Yeah, you wear the uniform. You can put shoes on. You can always have a fresh uniform on too, but you can only have a uniform. It's the only thing you can wear. Or you have to be barefoot.
I'd say I'd rather wear a uniform. Yeah. Because, dude, so think of some of the cities that these tournaments are in, okay?
Dude, you don't even have to think about that.
I know.
Like, no. If you go outside, you can put shoes on.
Okay, still walking around the hotel, and I mean, sometimes I walk around barefooted, but usually I always have shoes on. Okay.
Do you know what I thought of?
And then again, not washing the whole weekend. That's crazy. Yeah.
Just going. How about just one time? Just going to the bathroom at a karate tournament.
Yeah.
But people do it all the time. Like, you just gonna walk in here?
Listen, 2 weeks ago I did it. I did it. I had to go, man. I had to go, and I was. Well, here's the deal. Angel talked about last week. I was literally running the tournament with a microphone in my hand, competing, and trying to use the bathroom. It was wild. Okay, and I ended up leaving my chucks at the tournament because as soon as I won the grand, I put my chucks down, I put my gear on, I run to the table, get the mic to tell everyone what we're starting, and then I go fight. And I had no idea where everything was. It was just wild. And I had to leave at a certain time for my nephew's birthday party.
Well, that is a good segue since you mentioned chucks, because here comes the next one.
All right.
Would you rather teach a seminar at the Martial Arts Super Show, but it has to be for nunchucks, but Matt Emig is taking your seminar?
Okay.
Or you have to take a fighting seminar from Nasty Anderson, but you have to fight Nasty for an hour straight.
Jeez. That used to be Nasty's seminar anyway. I did a seminar when I was a kid, and you had to fight Nasty. Yeah, I fought Nasty when I was a kid, but not for an hour straight. Jeez.
Fight Nasty for an hour straight. Or you got to do a seminar at the Super Show. You are teaching it, but it can only be for nunchucks, and then Matt Emig is taking your seminar.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Oh my gosh.
I have pretty good nunchucks.
I'm so nervous.
Yeah, I have pretty good nunchucks. Not only his level, but my style is a little different than his. So he would appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I think Matt appreciates martial arts. You know what I mean? So him and I have had that conversation about just people not mimicking him, but doing their own thing. And he has a lot of respect for that. You know?
Does he feel like people mimicked him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I think so.
Yeah, that makes sense.
A lot have. You know, you look now, some of the top nunchuck people, it's just Matt Emig. It's hard to say that they were even at that level because to me, they just look like Matt Emig with hair or with,
I mean,
sports bra.
If you were going to copy somebody.
Oh, I know.
I mean, I suppose.
Yeah, that's why, I think Gemma always did good against him because her style is completely different.
You
know?
Yep, you said it.
Even someone like Obeda, his style was completely different, and his students did awesome against other people that were Matt Hemming students. So, because they were different. So, all right, one more.
Yep. Would you
I
rather?
did. Okay, no,
Go ahead.
I
No,
did
no.
when I went and trained at Ibby school. I had to fight him until I beat him twice.
Who?
Ibby Abdallah.
You had to fight Ibby until you beat him twice?
Yeah, we didn't end the night of training until that. So that took over an hour. I think he'd let me win. He probably was getting tired.
It's like, I'm tired. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Here, score this punch. All right. Would you rather win an overall beating Raymond in his prime, but you get railed in the nuts and spend a week in the hospital?
Okay.
Okay. Or you have the best fight of all time. Everybody says it's the greatest fight of all time, but you lose that fight in the first round. You beat Raymond Daniels.
Yeah, how does everyone think that it's the best fight when it's in the first round? Like, because of YouTube, I'd say the Raymond Daniels one. I'll take a week at the hospital.
So look at that. So you would rather
beat him, win the overall grands at, let's say, the Diamonds.
Yeah, but you get railed in the nuts. Like, he tries to jump turn kick.
Oh, so I'm up. Let's say I'm up, and he tries to finish me off with a jump, and he hits me in the nuts. I don't know. That one looked. My picture probably won't look very good.
Yeah,
when I'm like,
that's what I'm saying. You got to think about that. Think about that. Like, you're up, and then he knows Jeff Dawson's going to pick his foot up, and you pick your foot up, and wow,
right in the nuts.
There it goes. And he's trying to get 3, but he gets 2 of something else.
Yeah.
And then
there's no good. There's no good. All right, I guess the other one probably is better in some ways.
But see, then if you go, yes,
another
the best fight of all time, but you lose that fight, and it's in the first round.
But here's the deal: we have so many tournaments. Who's going to really remember if it's the best or not, dude? No, people have all kinds of different opinions on what is the best. So.
Come on, man.
What?
Come on.
What's the best fight of all time?
You can think of like 3 amazing fights of all time right now.
Yeah, but I could also keep thinking and thinking and thinking of more. Like, there's so many good ones. And some of them, it's not even a memory of, like, really when you look down, you look back at it, it may have not been that great of a fight, but it was the story and how it got there. I mean, maybe one point and stuff. It's just in the experience in the crowd, and
so that's what you'd rather have.
I'm always for winning. So
you've gone back and forth in this question.
I'd rather win.
So you would rather
suck getting, losing my nuts though.
Beat Ray in his prime.
Yeah, you got to beat Ray.
But you get railed in the nuts. They don't even pick your hand up because you're on the ground.
You can't add that kind of stuff.
I don't know. I'm trying to paint the picture. I'm trying to envision what would it be.
They take my picture like on the ground, like
they hand you a diamond ring right in your crotch.
They put it on your toe. Yeah, they put it on your toe.
Oh my gosh!
You get carted off, and it was like you do the thumbs up like they do in football. Like, I'm okay.
Thumbs up, but the diamond can be on your thumb. Here you go, guys.
This is funny.
While Ray's still on stage.
Oh man, get a boo birds going for Raymond. All right, so those are pretty good. We're gonna have to do this segment more often because those are fun.
All right, cool. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do them another time. Man, this was good hanging.
Yeah, this was good hanging. All right, guys. So next week we will be. We're hoping to have an interview with. We kind of can't tell you completely, but we got 2 options. And then the week after that, we're gonna have our 3-year anniversary show. So we want you guys to be a part of that. Okay. So what we're gonna do is, if you have a subject that you want to kind of talk about, maybe a 5-minute question that for us we're going to cover for 5 minutes, you get to kind of talk to us about it, and kind of debate or whatever with us. we're gonna do that. We're gonna take about 5-6 different people of our fans, because we appreciate you guys. You guys have supported us. If you have something you want us to discuss, get on here and discuss it with us. And that's gonna be our big celebration, our big 3-year anniversary celebration. So we were planning on doing it for the 150th, but our life got all in the way of all that. So
a
but
150,
really cool.
I think, was when Angel and I were on.
Yeah, because I was at the soccer game.
And I messed, you know what I messed up? I totally forgot. That was 720.
Yeah.
And I never one time even mentioned
I know.
the 720 day, man.
That's
Never
funny.
one time. What a dumbo I am.
Oh man. Lots of birthdays today too. Bear Loby's birthday, one of my best friends, and one of my other best friends, Jeff Orlowski's birthday today as well. So
all right. Do we know numbers?
Birthday. Well, I know Bear's 40. Bear's 40.
He's 40 today.
Yep.
Nice. Happy birthday, Bear.
Yeah, man. So I don't know about Jeff. We'll say 35.
Jeff, I think Jeff is 42.
Oh man. All right, guys.
Man, this was good hanging. This has been another episode of Inside Scoop with Alex and Jeff. I am Alex Dingman.
I'm Jeff Doss. See you guys next week.